What's going on, guys? Crypto Renegade here for you, and in today's video we're going to be doing another hardware wallet comparison video. On my left here we have the brand new high-end premium Ngrave Zero wallet, and on my right here we have the, again, also premium hardware wallet, the Keevo Model 1. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss this one. All right, guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I wanted to do a hardware wallet comparison for you on the brand new premium Ngrave Zero, which is on my left, and of course we have the Keevo on my right. So before I jump into the content, I just want to point out my new website, bitcoinlockup.com. As you can see on your screen here, there's a lot of new content that's exclusively going there as opposed to YouTube or any other platforms. So make sure to check that out and get notified and updated. All right, with that out of the way, let's get into the hardware wallets. Now, if you've seen a lot of my comparison videos in the past, there's typically three categories that I look at when I decide which hardware wallet that I'm going to use, or when I'm making a hardware wallet purchasing decision. First category is going to be the design, security, and form factor of the device. The second is going to be the coin support, if there's any unique coins on any of these, which one is going to hold more coins, as well as staking and other capabilities. And then the third and final category is the overall price, comparing which one is closer in price. And in this case, these are both premium and high-end wallets, so they're going to be very similar. And then of course I'll end with, if I had to only pick one of these, which one I would personally choose after doing a full deep dive onto all of them. So let's get right into it here. So let me go ahead and start with the design, security, and form factor on the Ngrave Zero, as this is the newest hardware wallet on the market. And I've been using this for a couple of weeks now, and this device here is very, very smooth in terms of its overall user experience. Now, again, they both have, this one does have a bigger screen than the Keevo, so I wanted to point that out. Bigger screen makes it a little bit easier as far as the usability. So let's look at the form factor first. So on the bottom here, you have a charging port for USB-C. Now, this one is an air-gapped device, which I wanted to point out. So air-gapped means there's no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, no NFC, no wireless communication whatsoever. So it does make it more secure. It only uses QR codes. So I wanted to point that out, that's different than the Keevo here. The other thing is there's one mechanical button here for powering on the device, and this is for obviously turning on the device. And on the back here, we have the camera for QR code scanning right here, as well as right here is the fingerprint authenticator. Now, the fingerprint authenticator you can use for multi-signature, you can use it for multi-factor, which again means that if I want to have a PIN code and a password and a fingerprint to sign or send a transaction, I can enable that on this device. So again, this one has biometric and multiple authentication in terms of factors. So very similar to the Keevo, which we'll get into in a minute here, but this one is pretty straightforward, but again, this one's air gapped, this one is not. So as far as the security, this is the only hardware wallet on planet Earth that has an EAL7 Plus security element chip. This does make it the most secure hardware wallet that there is. As far as the actual setup flow, it actually takes about 15 to 20 minutes, because when you go through to set up the device, you have to verify the device is authentic through the website. Then it will have entropy, where you can actually generate the private key in real time. It's not pre-generated. And then instead of writing down your 24-word recovery seed phrase mnemonics, you actually get to use and set up the actual 64-character private key. And then if you have the graphene, which is the metal sheet, there is a very unique method in terms of backing up or protecting your private key, which I will do a deep dive on that in a future video. However, the overall user and security flow on this device is extremely, extremely high, probably the best security and design that I've ever seen or ever used on any hardware wallet, bar none. So that's very interesting. This of course has, a full touchscreen display, And of course you can, as it's brand new here, you can set hidden accounts, you can set multiple passphrases, you can display the private keys and so on. And then you could obviously add multiple coins on the device, which we'll get to in the later section. But again, because this is air gapped, because it uses a mobile app called the Ngrave Liquid, and it communicates with this Ngrave Zero, this is a completely wireless and air-gapped device. So that mixed with the EL7 Plus security element chip, which is the best of its kind in its class, makes this extremely secure and high-end hardware wallet. Also feels very heavy, which means that the materials are high quality. The overall, it's very smooth, but also like you can just feel that they put a lot of attention to detail, and the overall form factor and casing is very high-end and very high quality. So that's sort of my overview on the Ngrave Zero. Now, looking at the Keevo. Now, this is also a high-end unique device, but let's touch on the security and design and form factor as well. As you can see here, this is also a fingerprint sensor, and this allows you to unlock the device as well. Now, also, as far as this also has a USB-C port for charging, but this is not air gap. This does require you to use a desktop application called the Keevo Link in order to sign, send, and receive transactions. So keep that in mind, that this one is a connected device, meaning you have to use it and connect it to your computer. You cannot use it wirelessly at all. Now, again, this one is also kind of a stainless steel, higher quality. They both feel pretty heavy. They both feel kind of a higher end feel than sort of the cheaper plasticky ones that you find, which kind of warrants the better build, better quality. But what also makes this one pretty unique is this has the detachable carbon key. And this is also a multi-factor device as well. You need the carbon key, which has the private key on it as well, in order to sign and send and receive transactions. So you can leave the carbon key in one location and keep this Keevo in another. And then also, this has a full touchscreen. It is a little bit smaller than the Ngrave Zero, but also, again, what makes this different and unique is this has an optional beneficiary service. They partnered with Iron Mountain, so again, if you want to send your carbon key to them, it's this optional subscription. You're not required to use it, but it's $100 a year right now. And it basically, if you were to die or pass away or become incapacitated, this would essentially allow you to pass on your crypto to your loved ones or whoever you designate as a beneficiary in a sort of a centralized way. Some people want that option. I personally don't use it, but it is an option, and this is really the only hardware wallet that does that. So there's a magnetic cupping, so that's very interesting as well. Also, there is no 24-word recovery seed phrase on this device when setting it up as well. So you can have multiple fingerprints, you can have the device itself, you can reset it, but as you can see here, there is an option to manually write down a 12 or 24-word recovery seed phrase in the event that you want to use that to import it into a different wallet. So even though when you set up the device, it doesn't come with it by default, you do have that option there that I did find later. So this has multi-factor, the carbon key, your thumbprint, your 8-digit PIN code on here. So far, it's very similar to the Ngrave Zero in terms of the fingerprint, the multi-factor, and the setup as well. So again, these are both pretty neck and neck, but I do like the unique detachable carbon key as well, which gives that an extra edge and allows you to do those options for beneficiary storage if you want to. That's not required, but it is pretty unique and it does make it stand out. So again, not air gapped. This does require a computer connection with a cable in order to use it. So now that we've covered sort of what I consider the most important, the security, design, and form factor, let's now move on to section 2, which is the basic coin support. Now, I'll be honest with you, these two wallets do not have the best coin support yet. And the reason for that, just to give a brief explanation, the reason for that is these are both new. Any hardware wallet provider that rolls out brand new isn't gonna have the best coin support right off the bat. Their goal is to get the device out there, to have your basic functionality for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and ERC20 tokens, which is what this device and both companies did. In terms of adding on new coins and new staking features and so on, those are going to come in future firmware updates, but they both have active teams. They're both active on GitHub. They both have very promising sort of futures and features that make them sort of stand out and unique. And these are really the only two premium or high-end hardware wallets that exist. There are some other obscure ones, but I don't use them or trust them. So if you want the best of the best, it's kind of a tie between these two. But in terms of coin support, this one on the Ngrave Zero is as of shooting this video, is gonna win. So for example, you have your basic Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and then all ERC20 tokens. You also have Bitcoin Cash, Zcash, and then of course, as part of the ERC20 tokens, you can get sort of the NFT or metaverse coins, Polygon, Engine, Mana, Sandbox, Curve. Pretty cool. Those are just the ones that I've added on myself. You can also have Litecoin and Dash and some other basic ones. I just haven't added them on my device as well. Now on the Keevo, this one only has Bitcoin, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum. They've recently added in ERC20 tokens, but only a select few, not the entire list of over 1,000. So keep that in mind. These are very close in terms of their coin support. Neither of them allow staking as of shooting this video, but again, will come out in future updates. And both are planning to add, so I'm told by the teams, that they are both going to add Polkadot, Kusama, Avalanche, Solana, and all the coins within their given ecosystem. So that's very promising and very interesting as well. So in terms of coin support, technically the Ngrave Zero is going to win only slightly. But if you're just looking to store basic Bitcoin and Ethereum, either of them are going to work. As far as ERC20 tokens go, it's kind of hit or miss. You'll have to like log in and see and check the links down below in the description for the most up-to-date coin support as of whenever you're watching this video. So do keep that in mind, that it's going to vary, and over time they will periodically release firmware updates which allow new coins, new support, and I'll make future videos on that as that happens. So in round 2, Ngrave Zero is going to win. Now, round 3, which again is the price. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm going to give the full price for each of these devices because in the links in the description, because I'm partnered with them, I'm going to have always at any given time the best available price. Any discounts or promotions that are going on, I will have in these devices or in my links in the description. So check them out. That'll give you the up-to-date coin support and the up-to-date deals and promos. Now, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about it. The price on the Ngrave Zero here, again, standard price for the device itself is 398 euros as of shooting this video. And then there is an option for a Ngrave with the graphene, which is the metal recovery seed plate, as a combo, and that is 498 euros, which translates to roughly $550 US. Now, the Keevo Model 1, also a high-end and premium device. This one, standard full price for just the Keevo device itself is $299. And then there is an optional package where you can have this plus a custom case as well as a year of the beneficiary service, and that is $399 US. So very similar, these are kind of your higher end. These are probably the two high-end hardware wallets that exist on the market today. Just better quality overall. Like any other hardware wallet below this that's built in plastic and lower security, they put a lot of attention to detail into security in both of these devices, which I really like. Security obviously is the most important thing when you're choosing a hardware wallet. The other factors and components are sort of nice to have. But again, just to do a quick recap, if I could only choose one of these two devices, honestly, I still would choose the Ngrave Zero. And the reason for that is you're gonna have DeFi integrations built into this. They're both eventually gonna have staking and more coins added on. That's not necessarily the biggest deal. The reason I'm choosing this is this has an EAL6 plus security chip. This has an EAL7 plus security chip, so it does slightly beat it in terms of the chip security. But more importantly, for the usability and user experience, this is air gapped. This uses a QR code. And this will work with DeFi, so you can eventually use this for Uniswap, with MetaMask, NFTs, DeFi platforms, coin swapping. That's all going to be available here, which may or may not happen here. Given that this requires a desktop, you have to be tethered to a computer to use this. whereas this one you can take on the go and use it as long as you have a cell phone. So mobile, desktop only. Honestly, this one is a little bit cheaper, and it does have some unique features like the optional beneficiary service, and it does have some other features, but overall user experience, the Ngrave Zero is gonna win in my opinion here. I've been using the Keevo for several months now. I've only used the Ngrave for a couple weeks, but the overall flow, the user experience, signing and sending and receiving transactions has just been so much smoother here. So the team's definitely put a lot of attention to detail in the Ngrave Zero. And that's really the ultimate choice of why I would pick that. Again, if you're looking at coin support, if you're looking at anything else, they're pretty matched, neck and neck. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap that up here. So Ngrave Zero does win in this round. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything that I didn't cover that you want covered, comment down below and I'll do it in a future video and or answer your question directly. I'll do the best that I can. And then also, because the Ngrave Zero is the newest device as of shooting this video, go ahead and click here in the top right corner where I will do a full deep dive unboxing and overall review of the Ngrave. I will see you guys in that video right now. Crypto Renegade out.